poem I want to share with you tonight is the title track of the album that we have for sale. And Pastor Clark has asked me to do another one, which is actually going to be the title track of the next album, which we're asking God for the resource to do at the moment. This poem's called Bushman and Heroes, and it was inspired by a couple of blokes I know, one of which was a mate of mine. He's a Vietnam vet, and probably one of the toughest men I've ever met in my life. And anyway, it goes like this. You know, I'd heard such a lot said about him. In fact, he was most of the reason I came. My old man, he just called him the Reverend and described him as Exhibit A from the Stockman's Hall of Fame. He was a bushman. From his battered Akuba to the soles of his old Williams boots, he had eyes that were squinted from dust storms. He had a hide like the floor of the ute. He had a handshake that gripped like a bench vise. He had a voice that came up from his belt. But he had a presence of love blind to eyesight, but such as could almost be felt. "G'day," I said. "They tell me they call you the Reverend." He said, "Son, there's naught that's much reverend about me. Just a daggy, dusty old sinner. What you get is about just what you see. Son, if it wasn't for the fact I know Jesus, there'd be little worth knowing about me." "Yeah, Dad said you went all religious when the Melbourne got back to the quay." I mean, that he'd be embarrassed like. He's only told Mum and me. But he tells everyone you're a hero. How you went back when they said it's too late. He answered, his emotions in neutral. "I went back because your old man's a mate." Son, if you're out here looking for heroes, you're in the wrong place. A lot of years too late. What happened back then is just a memory. And right now, I got to weld up a gate. "Oh, look," I said, "there's really no need to be modest. I've heard the story since I was a kid. And I know Dad'll never forget you, for what you did. And I'll always believe you're a hero. You went back when the choppers had gone. I'll always believe you're a hero, no matter how many years have rolled on." Sit down, son. Let me tell you about heroes. First off, don't believe all you hear. Son, when that shrapnel was cutting the bush around us, I filled my pants out of fear. I never prayed before I went in the jungle. I never thought of peace before I went to war. Until the stench of death had closed up my nostrils, I never saw rich folks as poor. Son, a lot of blokes made God a promise if he'd just get him out alive. Your old man got it wrong. I never went religious. It's just that my promise survived. So I thought I'd best do God a favour. Join the clergy, be a man of the cloth. But the years I spent working in college, well, they achieved little but to stir up a wrath. Until the day came and I cried out in frustration. I've worked hard to pay back my dues. And then a voice from heaven said, "What for?" "I've already paid them. For the whole world. And that includes you." Son, that was the day I learned about heroes. Until I met the God who loved me enough to hang on a cross.